Howdy, y'all. So on the next episode of Ricky's Big World, we gonna spill all the tea.
So that was the first car. Second one was the Mustang.
Wait, there's more than these two.
So right after I took the Mustang, I was getting so much praise from my school, from school, that we took the vice principal's car of my school.
Back in the pizza world caverns, behind the test ovens, and in reality next to the bathrooms, it's Ricky's Big World.
Hi, welcome back to another episode of Ricky's Big World. So, you said you wanted to hear the story about me stealing the car.
I do.
What?
I do want to hear a story about you.
See, I thought we had talked about this before already.
No.
You don't think so?
We had talked about cars. We had talked about you using Cheese Whiz in tires.
Which worked.
We talked
Okay,
about...
that one worked.
We talked about you getting... well, I guess you didn't get your classic car right away. I guess it went to somebody and then you got
my
it.
Mustang.
Your
Yeah,
Mustang.
that hurts my heart to talk about that. We ain't gonna talk about
But I don't remember you talking about stealing a car.
it. I did. You sure did. All right, so
I want to hear all about this.
picture it, Columbus, Georgia, 19. So
It was a stormy day.
I was about, I was sitting there thinking about it. I was actually 15. So I was 15 years old, and my buddy was a year younger than me. So he's about 14.
Okay.
And we were over at his house, and they lived in a very nice neighborhood. I lived in the projects. They lived in Bayesian. So we were there, and his mama had a beautiful, what year was that? 1980 something Mustang, brand new, white with red top, red interior. I mean, it was and he was sitting there, and he was all depressed because he wanted to go see his daddy. His daddy lived in Maryland. All right, it's quite a ways from Georgia. And Columbus, Georgia is on the far west coast, west side of Georgia in the middle. So if you look at the map of Georgia and you see that little indent on the far left, that's Columbus, Georgia right there. So he was like, he just got the phone with his dad. He was telling his dad how much he missed him and everything else. Dad's like, this, and I said, well, why don't you go over there? He's like, well, just we can't right now because of A, B, C, and D. And I said, we got kids. And his mama was actually on a business trip. And so his aunt would come in, and stay the night or whatever it is.
Okay.
No, we leave our kids. I mean, I'm a latchkey kid.
I mean, I know it was a different time, so it's a little bit more
1980s
understandable.
all.
Yeah.
All right, so
I mean, it was just, you could do anything.
I
Nobody
made
knew.
my first meal by myself at 5 years old and stuff.
Didn't they have commercials that were like, do you know where your kids are? Just to
10
make
o'clock
sure.
at night. 10 o'clock, that's right.
Yeah.
You're right. Sherry came on there. She said, you know your damn kids are?
Yeah.
So-
it was just a different era. 5 years old was the first time you made something
Yeah.
for yourself.
I came home from elementary school. Or was it elementary school? Anyway, I was about 5 or 6. Came home. My mom was next door at the neighbor's house. I let myself in because I had to. And I walked in. I remember putting the stuff down, and I hugged. I'm like, and I thought, I gotta go clean all of that. So I go into the kitchen. I want a snack. So I grabbed the pan, got the stove, which is gas stove. Put that pan on there, and Mama had already put some pancake batter in the refrigerator. I made myself some pancakes.
That's crazy. Like at different time. I mean, I have a 5-year-old, so I'm just trying to imagine her doing that. And
Well, the thing is, though, was that when I did that, Mama walked in, and she had nothing about it. She said, "Oh, okay, did you make me one?" No, Mama didn't make you one. And so she went there and made her pancakes. So we sat there and we ate.
nice. I love that.
Well, thank you so much. What's your name?
Yeah,
Kathy. Nice meeting you, Kathy.
nice to meet you.
Well, I appreciate you. Thank you.
That's why we come to pizza.
Because of me? Oh, Lord. All right, Bob needs to know that. All right, bye-bye now. Have a good day.
I love that.
Oh, that's one of the listeners. So, Bob, when you watch this, know that your dollars, your advertising dollars, are spent very wisely. Very wisely.
Yeah, she was like, I come in just because of you.
Came here just because what I said. There you go. I love that.
Look at you.
All right, where were we at?
You were making pancakes.
Oh, yeah. So I made pancakes for myself. Mom and I made pancakes. We sat there, we ate pancakes together. I didn't get scolded one time.
I don't know why you would get scolded for that, but that's such a cool life skill to know at that age. I mean, like, I try very hard. You know that. I try very hard to make sure my kids are, like, very well prepared. So they come to the restaurant and they chop and cook, but they are not cooking pancakes at 5.
I don't know. You're the oldest one. He really works.
Yeah, he does. He does.
So anyway, point is though, so she was next door doing that. I did that. So that's just how I grew up. So his aunt would come in. She'd be gone sometimes during the day. He was at school, whatever it is, and she'd spend the night there, whatever. So he was taken care of. We were taken care of.
Yeah.
But it was like about 9 o'clock at night. She already went to her bedroom and fell asleep. Because I remember walking in there and I opened the door and I was 10 minutes and she's sleeping. And I said, "You want to see her there?" I said, "Yeah." I said, "Well, my mama left her car here." I said, "Would you drive you?" He said, "You can't drive. You only got your youngers come here." I said, "Right, I'm about to learn how to drive." So we get into her brand new 1980 something Ford Mustang with a souped up 5.0.
The sheer arrogance. Like, I'm about to learn how to drive right now.
Hey, it is what
That
it is.
teenage.
I had to adjust the seat like you would believe. I took the phone books and put it on the thing and sat on those. I remember because I had to put my jacket on it because it would hurt my butt. So cranked that thing up. And I remember I revved it up too much. I thought I was about to blow it up. And backed out like at 0.0 pounds per hour. And I was scared because I haven't driven anything that powerful before.
Yeah.
And then I went and almost hit the mailbox. Backed out, went. We didn't have GPS systems back then, so we had to map. But I knew how to get to Atlanta. And I figured if we can get to Atlanta, we'll find it. But, so we just started driving. And we drove all night. And we got there safe. No, we didn't get stopped one time. I think because I always look, at 12 years old, I didn't get any Florida. Because I always look old.
Yeah.
And when you do get older, it don't so good on you.
How long is that trip?
It was, because it's an hour and a half to Atlanta. From Atlanta to Chattanooga is about another 2 hours. So we'll say about 4 hours just for that trip. So I'll say it was with all the back roads that we actually took, it had to be about 12 hours, 11, 12 hours.
You were gone for 12 hours?
Yeah, we had the police
One
call
way?
us. So
You what?
we had the police call us. I think it was like 12 hours. I don't remember. I was a kid, so I don't remember my judgment period was bad. So we get up there,
Easy.
and it was morning time when we got
Well, yeah.
And so and it was on a Saturday.
How'd you guys pay for gas?
Hell, his mama had money in
Oh.
the glove box, and
Just in
Andrew
the
brought
glove
money
box?
too. Huh?
In the glove box? You
In
just
the
kept
glove
money
box.
in the glove box.
She had a lot, so we had to give it.
Yeah.
Andrew brought money too because he had allowance. I didn't know what the allowance was, to be honest. My mama told me, she said, "What allowance you want? You got oxygen. I gave you oxygen, and you got a stove to cook on, electricity, and
Make
clothes
them
on your back.
pancakes.
That's all the allowance you need."
There you go.
So, but his mama gave him allowance. So we get up there, we knock on the door. His dad answers the door, and he does not get the welcome he expected. And in fact, the welcome he got was, "What are you doing here?" And so he didn't even invite us into the house. We had to sit outside on the porch while he called his mom and cussed her out in bed.
I cannot imagine, but as a parent, like as a child, I understand how like disappointing that would have been because you would have been so excited that you did this thing because you missed your dad so much, and like that interaction would have been like really heartbreaking from a child's perspective. But from an adult's perspective, you're like, I know how many hours it takes to get
But
here.
he didn't know that. I mean, he could have assumed that. I mean,
He didn't like
he
see
probably
the
thought
car or
that
anything.
his mom brought us or something.
Fair. I
Okay,
get-
so but it's just that the initial thing was he looked down and he saw us and he was just, what are you doing? So I got that feeling right now, right then and there, because after dealing with my own father,
Yeah.
is that he did not want you there.
Oh.
And contrary to what his mama would always say about, oh, your daddy loves you and all this other stuff, we initially started sitting there thinking about it all the time. So his mama was saving face for his dad.
His dad.
So anyway, so we're there. He's on the phone cussing out his mama, his ex, for being a bad mother. And she takes a flight to Maryland, gets to the house. We're there, still sitting on the porch because he did not want us in the house.
Oh, that's so sad.
And I was the bad influence because, he said, I can have you thrown in jail for this. And I looked at him and I said, let's go. Let's go. Because I was starting to be more protective over my friends because I saw him. He was on the street.
Well, that's so sad.
He let us in his bathroom and then we had to go back outside.
That's horrible.
So, no, it just showed his true colors. And Andrew cried about it and he was upset. But I looked at him like, okay, you're a raggedy piece of beep.
At least now he knew.
Yeah, he knew. And so from then on, his mama rented a car to get to the thing, which I don't understand why she did that, why she would take a taxi. Because at the time, he didn't know that we took the car. Even his dad didn't know we took the car. Because we actually parked in front of the wrong house.
Oh my goodness.
And so she finds out that we took and called my mama and said, you need to come pick up your effing son for doing this. And my mama said, oh no, you will be bringing my child back. And so I had to sit in the back seat of that car while his mama berated me for being the bad friend. And I was banned to see him later because of which I get. I really do. I completely understand. 15, 14 though, we're only like 3 months apart from each other. We were the same age.
Yeah.
But I was the bad guy. Things smoothed over later, and when I became an adult, I reached back out with him because his mama had actually kind of told him that so much he started believing it. And then he finally, when I talked to him on the phone, I even talked to his mama, and I told him, I said, man, I want to apologize after all these years. I said, I was only trying to help out my friend, and I can acknowledge I took it way too far. We never should have took your car, and I'm so sorry about that. I said, but I was thinking about how I felt with my own father discontinuing a relationship with me and how he treated me, and I didn't want him like that. So that's why I was like, okay, well, let's just take the car and go. And it didn't work out.
Yeah.
The drive was fun. That was a nice car. that was a nice car. And I was calling up, I could reach the hill, so we were good.
Yeah. It's just unfortunate, but I see where you're coming from. I love that you took responsibility for it years later. I think that was really big of you. So apologize.
Well, when I got back, or when we got back, and his mama berated my mother, and my mother was strong Italian woman. She didn't take none of that stuff. They just snapped at it. But she took it that day because she knew I was involved.
Yeah.
But she talked her out of calling Juvie because I was supposed to meet her. Honestly, had she called, I would have went to Juvie.
Yeah.
So, and for those who don't know what juvie is, juvenile detention is jail. Okay, so I know there's somebody out there, what's juvie? Because there's so many pampered little kids out there that don't know nothing. And so they throw you in kid jail, and it's real.
Yeah.
But, that was just, I was brain dead. I don't know why I did it. Again, don't think that the only thing in my brain again was trying to get him to his death.
Yeah.
And that was it. And I went about it entirely wrong way. I don't advise any other kid to do that.
Yeah. But you were a kid. Your frontal lobe was not complete. You're not thinking through the process. You're not looking at what's going to happen.
But see, here's the
explain.
thing. You are saying exactly what I said in my head. Was, I made excuses for it.
Well, I see where you're saying it's. I'm not saying what you did is right. It's not right. It was wrong and it was dangerous, among other things. But you're also a kid that was just trying to do the right thing, and unfortunately, it was the wrong thing.
I watched Three Goonies and the License to Drive.
Yeah.
Everything else in the process. And but yeah, but that's not the first car I ever took.
Excuse me? You didn't learn your lesson? Pause really quick before we move on to the second car that you have taken. What did they say to your apology? Did they accept your apology?
The mom finally accepted my apology. She, the dad, he used the experience against his son in saying that his son is being brainwashed by mom, and that, he tried to get custody of him, and then when he couldn't, because he used that incident against the mom, but he didn't get custody, he cut all ties. And it's for the better. But anyway, so I don't know about him, what happened to him, but mom finally, embraced the situation and said, hey, you were dumb, you're kids. Yes, you put my child in danger, but he agreed as well. He went as well. You guys were only 3 months apart from each other on your birthdays. You're basically the same age. And so
I mean, it was just as
he
much.
wasn't innocent.
I was gonna say it was just as much his fault as it was yours, because just like you should have known, driving 12 hours on a stolen car isn't a good idea. He should have known it was not a good idea to say yes either.
Right. It just.
Yeah, so I get it. Did he forgive you when you apologized?
Oh, he wasn't really mad at me. He just was like, okay, mom makes sense.
I see.
Mom makes sense, and I shouldn't have done it. Maybe Rick is a bad influence on me, and I was like, okay, But at that time, I had been through so much mess in my life
Yeah.
that things like that didn't bother me.
Yeah.
I was so numb to things between the physical abuse, sexual abuse, death of my brother, the divorce of my parents. I mean, my brain was just.
Well, you just wanted
I was
to
a
fix
daredevil.
it.
I didn't care.
I think too, because of everything negative you had gone through, you just wanted to fix it.
You know what? And that's something that I had to go through too. It's like, okay, am I trying to fix him, or am I trying to fix myself?
Yeah, that's fair.
So growing up, I realized that, again, dumb decision, the most ridiculous. And no, don't ever do that. But no, the first one I took was I was 9.
So
And-
this is the second incident of you stealing a car?
Yeah, that was the second.
So
one.
let's go to the first.
The first one was my granddaddy's truck. And I loved it because you could push the button and it started. It's like a 1950s dark blue truck.
Yeah.
And it was electric, or had electric start. So you push the button, which, I thought was cool as hell. It was like a starship. And I took it and I drove it around in City.
Oh my goodness.
And cops pulled me over.
The cops did get you on that one.
Oh, Alabama trooper pulled me over because I was heading to Eufaula. I was on the road to head to Eufaula, which is south.
Yeah.
And so here I am on the road, and I'm heading to Eufaula, and he's like, he pulled me over. He said, "Sir," he said, "How old are you?" 9. And he said, "Go ahead and cut that engine off." Okay. So I cut the engine off. He said, "Sir, why don't you go ahead and come out of that car, please?" I get out of the car, he handcuffs me. And he says, "All right," in front, handcuffs me in front.
Yeah.
And he says,
I mean, you're
"So
lying.
I want you to sit down." And he said, "Well, you're not going to have a conversation." He said, "Whose car is this?" "My granddaddy's." And he said, "Did your granddaddy say you could drive?" "No." I was very honest.
Yeah.
"No." He said, "Okay, well, what possessed you to drive?" "I just want to drive a little bit. I love it." He said, "Why don't you tell me about this car?" Man, I told him everything about how much power I had, the torque on it, everything my granddad taught me. "Oh, you love that car, don't you?" "Yes, sir." "Okay. Well, I'll tell you what. I'm going to call your granddad." "Oh, been calling him." He said, "No, in fact, you know what? Is your granddad home right now?" "Yes." He said, "Well, let me head on over there. I'm going to leave your truck right here." He said, "What will you do?" So you go over there, and I had to face him. Now, my granddaddy was I would say violent guy, but he wasn't like people today,
Yeah.
where you bitch in timeout. He tore the meat off your hide.
Yeah.
And so the door, he knocks on the door, and he says, sir, he said, do you have a grandson named Ricky? Oh, yes, I do. He said, oh, okay. And he said, would you mind coming out and identify him, please? He comes out, he sees me in handcuffs. Oh, my goodness. All of a sudden, my granddad's like, he got in the protective mode. He's like, why is my grandbaby in
I'm
the
sure.
car? He said, well, sir, he decided to take your very beautiful truck, by the way, on joyride. Oh, he lost his mind.
I bet.
He went in there and got his gun. He got a shotgun, and he was just like, I can't believe somebody took my truck and took my baby with it. He said, no, sir, you don't understand. Your baby took your truck. And he pulled over there. He said, Rick. He said, you took... No. He said, officer, can you take me back to my truck? He said, yes, sir. He said, you want to file charges against your grandson? He said, no, what I can do is far worse.
Oh my
And so we go and get his truck. We don't go immediately back to his house. He takes me to Brick Street. Now, Brick Street is where just charcoal is over there. They make this, they make that. And he walks me into his buddy's warehouse where they make bricks, actual bricks. And he says, I got a new employee for you. And I start working on weekends making bricks out of Georgia clay. And that was my punishment. And there was no fun that summer.
Oh, I bet.
And I got my rear end tore up too, and I had to, every moment of my free time during the summertime, I was doing that. Any other time my mom could take me over there, I was doing that. They put me to work. It was child slavery.
Similar to how I have a 5-year-old and you are a 5-year-old making pancakes, I have an 8-year-old that's going to be 9. And I'm imagining him stealing my car. And oh my goodness.
Well, he wouldn't steal your car, he wouldn't steal Granddaddy.
Oh yeah.
That big old beautiful convertible.
Could you imagine?
So that was the first car. Second one was the Mustang.
Wait, there's more than these two.
So right after I took the Mustang, I was getting so much praise from my school, from school, that we took the vice principal's car of my school, and we took it to get some fried chicken, and all of a sudden it conked out. We didn't know it was having a carburetor problem. And so, I kind of knew how to fix that a little bit at that age, 16 years old.
Okay, so this is like a year after you've stolen the Mustang.
Yes.
And
You want to bring that up.
so a year later, you steal.
Borrow.
Okay.
We just want some try.
You allegedly.
And I like her anyway.
You allegedly.
No, I did it. Okay, we'll just go ahead and say I did it.
What's the statute of limitations?
I don't know, but I was underage. All right, so we go to the chicken place and we get some chicken, and then the car doesn't crank up. So we had to walk back to school.
How'd you get her keys?
Oh, we just took it off the wall. She was in her office. We took it off the wall.
And you just.
I didn't take. Okay, originally I didn't take it. My buddy Tony took the keys, and it was his idea. He said, "Why don't we go take this car?" He said, "Ricky, you already know how to drive, and you already took the car before the Mustang." I said, "You know what? Let's go get some chicken." So I grabbed the keys from his hand. We go get the chicken. Car conks out in the parking lot. We have to walk all the way back. We're late. We didn't say a word. And we get there, and all of a sudden the police are there because she reported her car stolen. And does anybody need to tell us something? Does anybody seen whoever did this? Because snitches get stitches, so we don't say nothing. I grew up with that one. I actually have seen people break children's arms for saying something. So that's why I knew right there.
Yeah, I don't say nothing.
Snitches get stitches. Shut up. So. Kind of fun. They said, well, they got a call and Ray, I remember hearing it. They said, well, we found this car, this, and everything else at the chicken And the lady identified some school kids. Can you bring? No one could say anything. It was like a week later when they found out it was us. And the assistant principal filed an official complaint with the police department. Police came to our house, and one of the police officers knew my granddaddy and said,
no.
"Is your granddaddy such and such?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "Okay." He said, "We heard about you. You gonna be one of them Bartletts that we have to throw in jail all the time, or you gonna make something?" That police officer put me down. He said, "Boy, I don't want to see you in jail like some of your other family. You have family in jail if you do the same thing."
Yeah.
And so he said, "Please don't do this." And they took us to jail in Phoenix City. Columbus, Georgia. And we spent a couple hours there. We get the talk, and we get shown other prisoners.
Right, they're gonna scare you.
And it did.
Yeah, I bet.
And the lady,
Just like that TLC show.
no, that TLC show is mild.
Mild compared to what they showed you.
We get in there, and I'm not even gonna say nothing about it, but we have to write a formal letter to the assistant principal, and we both get suspensions. Which to me at that time, suspensions was vacation. I used to stay home while my mom was at work. I used to watch TV and do it. So that wasn't a big thing, but we had to write letters to the assistant principal and tell her we're sorry. And then we had to do after school detention, and we had to clean her car. We had to do this. We had to do that. We had to. There's so many things that we had to do. And years later, I actually called up that school to see if she still worked there, and she did. And I said, "Ms. Shoemaker, I want to apologize." And then this is Ricky. Who? I said, "Ricky, I'm the one that took your car." Oh my gosh, she started laughing. She said, I look back on that and I just laughed. I said, "But you pressed charges." "Yeah, but I also canceled it too because you're dumb." And I said, "Yes, ma'am." I said, "I just want all these years later to tell you I'm so sorry. And my ways have changed. I'm not that person anymore." And she said, "I am so glad. I am so glad because I know who you are. I've seen you do this. I listened to you on the radio station I used to work at. My very first radio station was WKCN 99.3 Country Station."
Yeah.
She used to listen and she knew who I was.
That's so cool.
And she said, "Sounds like you turned your life around. You're married with a baby and everything else." I said, "Yes, ma'am." I said, "But I still want to apologize." I said, "Is there anything I can do to make things better for you?" And she said, "I'd like to see you." And I said, "Okay." So I met her at this restaurant, tiny little small cafe, tiny restaurant. I met her there, and she did not look the same, and her health was failing and all that. We were just sitting there chit-chatting, and she said she happened to mention that her air conditioning system in the house went out. She didn't have the money, and how good the air conditioning felt in the restaurant.
Yeah.
So I got a buddy of mine and a cousin, and we got together and we had that air conditioner fixed for her, and she passed away a few years later, but it was just that moment felt good to just say I'm sorry and do something nice for her.
That's so sweet.
So
What I love is not only did you apologize for the Mustang issue, but you also apologized for this one as well.
I had to,
And then
because you grow up.
helped her out with the air. I think there are a lot of people probably listening to this podcast that listen to you that don't realize that it's never too late for those apologies and to own up for those mistakes.
I lived my life because I learned a long time ago that what you put out in the universe comes back to you.
Yeah.
And because I kept going through so much bad luck, because I was creating the bad luck.
Yeah.
So now my life is I only put out positive energy out there, and that's exactly what I get back. So there's something to that. There's a connection to it, and I fully believe it. So I'm gonna end this on that positive note.
Very inspirational today,
Seriously.
Mr. Ricky.
Yes, so my constant days are over quite a long time ago. But now the worst one was my granddaddy. That was bad.
Oh, I bet.
I was building, making bricks in a hot Georgia heat.
Yeah, it doesn't sound fun.
So we're good. But hey, this is another edition. Thank you so much for watching and listening to Ricky's Big World. We'll leave the door unlocked for you. So until next time, don't be stealing no cars, please. Skateboards, zooming things. I don't know what they got. segways, floating this, and flying this. So,
Yeah.
But leave it alone. Okay, there it is.
It's a good life lesson.
These are good. There it is.